Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, Wimbledon, the Kentucky Derby, the Masters, the Indy 500, the Stanley Cup Finals, and the World Series all make their claims to be the greatest spectacle in sports. But it is clear to any sports watcher that the 3 weeks in March reign supreme. March Madness, a sports spectacle like no other. The stories, the buzzer beaters, the upsets, and the glory of cutting down the nets and being crowned national champions. All 351 Division I men's college basketball programs play their regular seasons in order to qualify for the 32 conference tournaments. The 32 winners of these tournaments receive automatic bids into the NCAA tournament and await Selection Sunday to see their matchup. Selection Sunday is when the Men's Division I Basketball Committee determines the 36 best non-conference tournament winning teams. These teams receive their bid into the NCAA tournament. The televised Selection Sunday program displays to the public the 4 regions which are seeded 1 through 16 and displays the matchups for the first Thursday and Friday. The first games of the tournament are played on Thursday and Friday, with successful teams advancing to play on the weekend. This occurs the next Thursday, with now only 16 teams are meeting. The Sweet 16 turns into the Elite 8, which turns into the Final Four of the following weekend. The national championship is played on the third Monday. It is the most storied basketball tournament, dating back to 1939. The first week of the tournament has 52 games that are played in less than a week. This means this will be the end of 52 teams this season. Thursday through Sunday provides us fans with 4 full days where everyone can sit in front of their television from noon to midnight and enjoy the best winner-go-home competition all year. This is unmatched by any major sports postseason. The Super Bowl makes you wait 2 weeks for one game, and the NBA Finals can take just as long as the entire NCAA tournament. March Madness is day in, day out action, all day long. The NCAA tournament's placement on the sports calendar could not get any better. The Super Bowl is over, Major League Baseball hasn't started yet, and the NHL and NBA playoffs are still over a month away. It is safe to say that all sports fans are craving postseason action, and March Madness does a great job of fulfilling that. College basketball is a sport where you are able to not watch the entire season and have just as much knowledge to predict how this is going to play out. Filling out a bracket for March Madness is one of the most popular things in sports. The fact that no one has ever filled out a perfect bracket and the odds are 1 in 9.2 quintillion gives people the want to be the first. It is estimated that around 100 million brackets were filled out this past year, and not one was still perfect through the first Friday night. Offices around the world get in the spirit of the big dance by holding contests to get employees engaged and hooked on the madness. Everyone loves an underdog, right? And the NCAA tournament is the event to watch if you love upsets and Cinderella stories. Every year, a team out of nowhere will surprise everyone by upsetting a big-name school, and soon enough, fans will fall in love with them. And the team ends up making a deep run into the tournament. Take Loyola of Chicago, for example. Last year, an 11 seed, which many people didn't even expect to make it out of the first round, playing powerhouse Miami. Sure enough, a buzzer beater with 0.3 seconds left to win the game, and their foot's in the door. Let the madness begin. Last second shots for its 3 seed Tennessee and 7 seed Nevada gets them into the Elite 8. Then a commanding win over Kansas State, and the Ramblers make the Final Four for the first time in 55 years. It is stories like this that keeps people waiting for the tournament each year. Another thing that makes this tournament so great is its style. There is no other sporting event in the world that is as high stakes or winner-go-home format. By maximizing the pressure and increasing the importance of every game, every possession and shot is maximized. March Madness makes these athletes have the biggest game of their life every day. This is great for young stars as there is no bigger stage than the big dance. Household names like Steph Curry got his first exposure to national television and never looked back. Steph led the tournament in scoring in 2008 when Davidson upset Georgetown, Wisconsin, and Gonzaga in their Cinderella run to the Elite 8. Now Steph's a 2-time MVP and a 3-time NBA champion. Every year, players and coaches emerge from March Madness and go on to have great professional careers. Another great thing about this tournament is that it consists of amateur athletes. Unlike the pros, these students have yet to prove themselves yet, so they use this stage to put their careers on their map. They showcase themselves to NBA teams, which put their careers in their own hands. This gives players a drive and determination that is unmatched by any professional. Also, each game for some of these kids could be the last of their careers. Walk-on seniors that aren't going to be drafted professionally are playing with their lives on the line. Kids playing every game like it could be their last, which for many it will be. There should be no question to anyone on the face of the earth that the big dance is clearly the greatest spectacle in all sports. The brackets, the underdogs, the athletes, the history, all adds to the greatness of the NCAA tournament. It is for the reasons I presented to you today that truly get people hooked on the madness, and every year are never disappointed by the 3 weeks in March.